everyone. Today on the Success You podcast, I have an incredible human being, Amisha Shrimanker. Amisha Shrimanker is a conversion copywriter and a launch strategist. She writes personality-based launch copy for course creators, coaches, and membership site creators. She's made her clients mid to high six figures in a single weekend with her launch copy. Amisha specializes in sales copy copywriting and has a digital product that teaches digital copywriters how to write sales copy. When she's not writing copy for her clients, she's busy playing mom to her two kids, biking in the park, and adding exotic destinations to her travel bucket list. Let's get started. Welcome, Amisha. How are you today?
Hey, Susan. Happy to be here. I'm excited to chat.
Yes, we wanted to do this for a while. I know that I said, okay, let's do this. And then you launched a course and I didn't happen to get it out. And so we finally connected and I'm finally able to get to talk to you and I'm super excited. So
me too.
Amisha, this is so low key. I love my podcast because and the videos because I'm very, very, very low key. I'm very kind of off the cuff instead of everything being so perfect because we live in such an imperfect world.
This is an imperfect time as any, so I'm glad you're doing this. Yes. And truly appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So Amisha, you just kind of have all these different hats, you know, I mean, you are phenomenal at a lot of different things. So what made you decide on, being a copywriter?
Let me try to shorten the story because it can really go way back. So it's around circa 2017. I was still trying to find a foothold in this online space. I was trying to find my thing or what I could do. And I was part a funnel strategist and I was kind of trying to dabble into business coaching and I hadn't figured out what I really wanted to do. I was still exploring. It was that time when I launched my first tripwire or a tiny offer, which was a $37 product. And this was way before tiny offers became a big rage. And I remember putting it up on my website and having an email sequence, and I was able to convert folks who visited my dinky website created by me, pathetic. They opted in and, some of them would buy the tripwire. Some of them would convert after reading that email sequence that I sent out for like a week or so. And all I was looking for at the time was a proof of concept. Like, if I'm putting this product out, does it work? And if it works, yay, I have a success story. And then can I coach people how to do this? Because I knew I wanted to do something in the digital space. I just didn't know what. I knew what my skills weren't, what I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at tech. I wasn't going to coach someone how to build a website or how to connect ActiveCampaign to your whatever. But I did kind of know what I was good at, like the strategy piece and why should one build a funnel. So I was trying to get into that. And then lo and behold, I had my first group coaching program. I got, I want to say 3 to 4 people who signed up to work with me because they wanted to learn how I did this tripwire thing. So I took them through the process, everything. And the questions I would get repeatedly asked were, how do you write copy for this? And why wouldn't this landing page convert? I didn't even know at the time that what I was actually doing was helping them write copy or that it was even a thing. I didn't even know what I was doing myself. I was looking at influencers out there, what worked, what didn't, reading blogs and articles, how typically all of us get started in a direction. And I would take what I know and what I had used and what worked and kind of distill it to them. And it worked. Their stuff would convert. And it still didn't hit me on the head that what I was doing was copywriting until 2018 when I looked up the word copywriter. I don't know what made me do that, but anyway, I'm not gonna try to remember that. I looked at the word copywriter and this Copy Hackers School came up, their website, and I was fascinated. Here was a course, a massive monster course that taught people how to write copy in the digital marketing space, what I was looking for. I was tired of second guessing myself and looking at influencers, and I didn't want to copy anybody's style because, copying someone it doesn't take you very far. And nowadays people call you out. It's very reputation damaging. So I learned how, I learned my skills. I learned what I could do. I loved writing sales copy. That's what I found out very early on. And then I thought to myself, I could do this. So again, I was looking for proof of concept, like, let me get my first couple of clients and see if this works. If I can help them, great. This is what I will, sign myself up for a very long time. I think this is the thing. And that was 2018. I have stuck with copywriting. I love it. And I like to put in a launch strategy in it as well. And that's what I do now. So
yeah, no, that isn't it kind of funny how we fall into things? Like we have all these different things that we love to do, and then we happen to stumble upon something and we just kind of dive deeper into it, and like that light bulb goes off and we have a business. And
exactly.
what are the joys that you have found with your business as a copywriter, a launch strategist, writing all this sales copy for people? What are the joys of it?
I think the joys of it are literally when I see that email from a client or a direct message or a Voxer saying that, hey, I'm getting people, my clients or my subscribers actually take screenshots of my sales page and telling me that this is what made me buy, or this is, you are speaking directly to me. And when I see that, and when people are converting or the copy is resonating and I'm getting sent these screenshots, is when I know I've done my job. I'm like, that to me is success. It's when my clients have their audience convert and pay attention and listen. So that is the sweetest thing. That's my biggest joy. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do.
Well, and the thing that I find fascinating, Amisha, is that you're not one of those that stands on top of, that proverbial mountain, screaming and shouting, saying, hey, look what I've done for this person. And hey, look who I've worked with here and who that. And I appreciate that about you, because it brings you down to earth and helps you relate to so many people that, this is where I've come from. This is where I'm at. I'm not making millions upon millions of dollars, but this is me.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? And so that's what I appreciate about it, is that you are making, you are changing so many people's lives, but yet you're not screaming it from the rooftop, hey, look at me and what I'm doing. So I completely appreciate that about you. And with that, we talk about the joys, but what are the not so fun things about copywriting and like creating these sales pages for clients? Because you want to try to convert. I mean, what are some of the things, if people are thinking about doing what you're doing, what are some of the things that are just not so fun?
Well, where copywriting itself is concerned, I can't think of a single pitfall in terms of not learning or using that skill to the fullest. Whether you're selling socks or whether it's a digital course, I think you need to understand how powerful copy can be to an extent. You don't have to be a professional copywriter, but yes, you have to understand, am I just spewing features at my audience when they don't care, and when I should start talking benefits, things like that. So copywriting in itself is a great skill. You won't be at a loss, even if you're a marketer and you want to, take a course in copywriting. I would say, awesome, go for it. Now, where it can get tricky as a copywriter, as a freelancer, or as an agency, is when not all clients are equal, right? I mean, we've all had those kind of clients where they won't give you much bandwidth, or they won't see the value of research. And research is a big deal when you take on any project, right? And a lot of clients, they look at you and they're like, I don't think I want to pay for research. But you have to convince them, like, it's not about it, it's this very research. And like, for me, I can tell you, when I take on a client, I go really deep. I not just interview the client, but I interview the client's clients to see what they're saying. I get them on the, on Zoom, like, hey, what's your experience been like? And what can you tell me? And I really like to dig deep. And sometimes that baffles my clients. Like, you do that? I'm like, yes, I would. I'm not going to guess, and I'm not going to crowdsource. That's the other thing that I hate. I've often taken on clients where they tell me that, my graphic designer thought that the sales page was too long, so we just cut it. Or I got this headline because people in my mastermind or group coaching program thought it was sexy. So I just prettied up the words. And here's what I want to dispel this myth. Copywriting is not about writing pretty words. Yes, there's a little bit of creativity, but a lot has to do with exactly what your customers are telling you and putting that up. We're not in the business of writing creative copy. Creativity to an extent, yes. But if you can't back up those pretty words on a landing page, don't write it, because then you've got to, you're going to be in legal soup.
Right.
So, you've got to back up whatever you're telling them with, not just to sound pretty, but you're actually backing it up. Like, hey, I've got proof. We are the only site that sells socks that look like this. Something like that.
Right.
So research is a big thing. Not everybody appreciates it.
No, and you know what? We have a mutual person that you're working with that I worked with, and you contacted me, and we got on a Zoom, and we had a very lengthy conversation and discussion to help you write the copy that was necessary for this individual. And so I think that's brilliant. I think that's fantastic, because you're right. A lot of people just do not do their due diligence. They just don't do that. And I completely agree, about, you have to be careful on what you write, because everybody wants to write, like you said, super sexy, and you can't do that. I remember years ago when I had a physical retail store, and then I would do like these traveling shows. I put the best. Well, this company came after me and said, how can you state you're the best? And I go, I don't know, because because to me, I was like, well, I am the best. But he's like, all right, well, here's your cease and desist. Stop using the best. And I'm like, this is so silly. But you're right. You have to be able to back it up. And in the words the best, you can't really quantify that, because there's always going to be someone better. And so, I absolutely agree with, you have to back up. And, sometimes copy just isn't sexy, and that's okay. And I completely agree with you on that. So
yeah, it is what it is. I don't know.
Exactly. And so, when you first started, Amisha, what was the biggest insecurity that you had? Like, what was the biggest thing that you were most concerned with?
Wow, gosh, do we have a couple of hours? Because I have a lot of.
I know. Okay, let's name it. Let's trim it. I know our minds a monologue too. Let's trim it to maybe your top three fears, concerns, insecurities when you first started.
Well, yeah. I still have them, and they never go away, right? No matter how top of the ladder value chain you are or not, or, some insecurities always stay. But my biggest insecurity when I invested thousands of dollars in learning how to write copy after I was done with the course was, crap, how am I going to find clients? And how am I going to, pitch them? The selling process and pitching myself, and kind of then the biggest scare was, oh crap, what price should I offer for this service? That's a big one, right? For a lot of freelancers, how should I price myself, and how do I market myself? So these were the insecurities. Once I got the first yes, that was great. I was like, okay. Then the next insecurity that came was, oh my gosh, they're going to be writing me a check for $1,000 for a sales page. Yeah, that was my initial price when I started, $1,000 for a sales page. I was like, what if this does not convert? oh my gosh, my career's over. They're going to talk about me. So these were the major insecurities. And of course, I learned on, and I can confidently weave this in a conversation with prospects that, hey, everything's not writing on the copy. Like if your offer sucks, I don't say if your offer sucks, but if your offer does suck, or if you have no audience, right? No email list, no social media following, like you're a nobody, then we've got problems. You can't say that my copy is going to be my savior and this better convert, because there's no copywriter that can guarantee that. They're just not going to do that. So I've got a little bit more confident. So I have that, yeah, it's not so much of an insecurity that I feel like I need to deliver. And if this doesn't, oh my gosh, I'm done. No, it's not really. It's your offer as well. And it's your marketing. And how long have you been connecting with your audience? It's all of this. So I ask them all these questions when I onboard them as a client. Like, do you have all of this? Then yes, this feels like a launch that can be successful. So.
Right. Exactly. So with that, what do you do if you do hire a client who may have did a little bit of smoke and mirrors to you and it doesn't quite go so well, not because you haven't done your job, but because they don't feel you've done them, because you didn't make them millions of dollars. Or they, like you said, they wanted to change their copy, or they heard in their group that it needed to be changed. Then what do you do, especially when it comes time to pay? And that's the biggest thing is the money situation. Like, how do you handle that? Because I think that's a real fear for anybody in the digital space these days. And as a freelancer, this how do I word it correctly, being politically correct, this entitlement so many people have that if you don't make them money, or you don't read their minds, and do you get what I'm kind of saying?
Yeah, I do. Like, how do you maybe promise them results without like getting into a legal soup or a legal battle, right? Or things get ugly, right? If things do not convert, or what happens then? So, and this is something that I am still learning, because I did not have this perfectly nailed. Any client that I take on, and when we have this onboarding call, or like, it's a sales discovery call or whatever, first off thing I tell them that, if they've had a list, if they've validated their offer, then it's a go for me. Because if it's a brand new product, they don't have a list, they don't have an audience, and they're trying to fall back on the copy itself, then the risk is much higher. I may not even take on that client. I kind of like gently refer them to my peers or competition or whatever. Like, you know what, you're in the startup phase. I don't think this is what you need. Professional copywriter is way more expensive. And now I even have a digital course. I tell them like, hey, if you're learning how to do this, just take the course. It's $37. It will teach you how to write your own sales page, and you're okay with that. But if it's a client that has an offer, it's been validated, they have proof of concept, they have an audience, I still tell them that, results are not guaranteed, because a lot of things can change, right? I mean, things, there are no guarantee of results. Right. And I am available after the project is done to split test and to be there for 2 rounds of revisions, looking at the data. Like, I don't tell them like, here's your copy and good luck. I'm still there for them after they've launched it. And then I take a look at their data for at least a month and try to understand, what are their people doing. I look at heat map data, like, where are they clicking? Are they not clicking? And then I kind of like, revise my, I give them the recommendations, like, maybe you should tweak this, or maybe we should tweak that. The other thing I want to talk about, and this is very interesting, I had a client, and really great client. They had this tiny offer, $37 offer. The copy wasn't doing so well when they launched it, but the client was very successful. She was making a lot of money every month, and her conversions on the sales page weren't as great. So in her mind, she thought it was probably the copy. She had an offer, she had an audience, and they were buying it up. So
Right.
she approached me to rewrite the copy, which was great. And I love a challenge. I'm like, okay, I'm going to optimize this, right? So I went in real deep. I did the research, talked to her clients who bought it and everything. And I spilled my guts out on that copy. The result, my copy didn't convert as well as the earlier control, which was a little disappointing.
Wow.
And it gave me sleepless nights. And it was my first
Sure.
failure, so to speak. Like, why isn't this converting? And
Right.
then I realized, Susan, that it's because they didn't improve the UX, or the colors, or not the colors, just the styling of the copy. And that's when it hit me that you need a well-designed sales page. It's got to look good for your
Right.
copy to kind of like, stand out. You can't just have the
Mhm.
old design and fit in the new copy. If you're doing a makeover, it's got to be complete. So now when I talk to clients, when I onboard, I recently, I signed up a really cool client. I said, I will do the copy for you for the entire funnel. But because you're in the space, that good design converts too.
Correct.
So I'm not a designer, but I work with a designer who understands conversion design. And it's best that you get both of us on this team to help you have a successful launch, because I don't want to leave it to chance that you come back 3 months later, hey, it's not converting. You know why? Because your design sucks.
Right.
So I understand that both of these go hand in hand, and I understand that now. So now it's a more of a holistic package. Whenever someone comes like, hey, yes, I'll write the copy, you should also get it designed professionally with conversion principles in mind. So
Right.
does
No,
that answer the question somewhat?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I,
I think that's fantastic. I I've done a little bit of copywriting myself. It's something that I've done.
yeah.
And um, you're absolutely right. Like, you can write the best copy, you can do all this, and then the client says, I don't think this is going to work out, because they don't want to lose, or they don't want to leave that whole design of their sales page.
Yeah.
And um, it's heartbreaking. And I remember personally for myself, a client that this happened to, I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. Um, I was heartbroken. I mean,
Yeah.
I poured my heart into it. I did everything that I needed to do that was being asked of me. And then that happened. And, you know, um, I mean, I'm assuming they went on to great success and whatever, but it was still very heartbreaking, because you
Yeah.
do, they sometimes, and I know I've done it in my own business. You've probably done it in your business, where you just get so focused that you don't see beyond, um, step one, and
Exactly.
you don't see the other steps, and you don't see it. And instead, it's so quick to blame somebody. Like, it's so quick to blame you because you didn't
Right.
write my copy correctly, instead of actually seeing that
Yeah.
my images aren't good, my offer, like you said, sucks, my points, whatever it may be. You're a brilliant copywriter, um, and you can launch amazing sales pages, to get
Yeah.
them to convert. But sometimes it goes beyond that. So absolutely, I
Right.
completely understand it.
Yeah. And I tell myself this, and I remember in another copywriting membership that I'm part of, the people who host it, they're amazing. They told me that even the A-list copywriters sometimes don't always beat a control. So you should not be, because that one setback, I couldn't sleep for nights, and I kept questioning myself. And this comes up, right? Like, oh my gosh, have I lost it? Like, have I lost the magic touch or whatever? But they put this whole thing was, it put it in perspective. Like, hey, even A-listers fail. It's okay. But now looking back, and I'm like, you know what? I should have said that the copy can only take it so far. Let's look at it from from a totality view. Like, if you add design, it will just take it up to another level. So now I know that. So in a way, it's good, right? You learn these lessons,
Yeah,
and that's how you learn. That's how you grow. So.
right. And you can't do should have, would have, could have, done have. You know what I mean? That's in
Oh
the
yeah.
past. They're great learning experiences, and we just move on, and just get better, from that. So now
Yeah.
that you're very successful in your business, what do you love about, you know, owning your own business and running your own business. And obviously we're both in our home. Whether we do that all the time or just because of this awesome pandemic, what do you love about it, Amisha?
Well, of course, the freedom, the flexibility to set my own hours. I'm not answerable to a man or any man for that matter, in a boss corporate setting. I did work a corporate job. I don't know how I lasted that long that I did. When I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? But, yeah, the freedom. I mean, can't travel right now, which sucks, but, it's just flexibility. And, we're entrepreneurs. I mean, I love that we have the freedom to design our businesses and our lives the way we want. And if something doesn't work, okay, let's try something else. So I like that. That's the whole point of being an entrepreneur. So
Yeah,
yeah, wouldn't change
absolutely.
it for the
No, exactly. I'm with you. I wouldn't even. I mean, though there are days that it's like, dang it, I wish I could just go punch a clock again. Um,
yeah.
but then
Yes.
that lasts like 2 seconds, and then I'm like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
So okay, I have to get your thoughts on this. And we were, I need to get your thoughts on this. What is your thoughts on the whole? You need to build a tribe. You need to get into groups. You need to get into masterminds. You need to do all this stuff. What are your thoughts on all that? And I ask everybody that, even my authors who are, they don't necessarily get into masterminds and groups and stuff, but they build tribes. So what is your thoughts on all that?
That's a great question. Well, I am personally, I'm not in a space where I'm building my own tribe. You know what? Actually, let me rephrase that. Actually,
You've
I'm
got the
actually
comedy
wrong. I am
crew.
building.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, I am. And your tribe is really a definition of what your tribe means to you. It could be a Facebook group, it could be a mastermind, it could be a free Facebook group, a Slack community, your employees. Right now we have two people who are part of the copy crew, and it's great. I mean, they're my tribe. I feel, I love them. And it could be your email list, even if it's less than 200 people on your email list, it means something. So that's your little tribe. So you build a tribe wherever the heck you want. It could be paid or free, but I do believe that you need to surround yourself, either build a community on your own where you can speak to them, or become a part of one where you're uplifted, you're supported, you're heard, and you're learning, and you keep taking the next step, because if you don't have that, like, if you don't have that, you're gonna stop dead in your tracks, and you're not gonna take those next steps to grow as an entrepreneur or even as a person. So find a group, find anything, or build one on your own, right, where you are in this bubble of great thinkers who can talk to you, talk back at you, or whatever, to keep yourself grounded. Because if you are operating in a vacuum completely, where you don't have an audience, and it could be big or small, it doesn't matter, some audience, even if it's one person, you could lose touch with reality, right? You could, or you could never launch anything, because you're so caught up in your thoughts. You need to get out of your thoughts and see what else is out there. So yeah, build a tribe, whatever that definition is for you, and just do it. No one's, I mean, it's not about the numbers, and it's not about how big it is or how big your Instagram following is or whatnot. The point is, if you are impacting change, even in a couple of people's lives,
Right.
whether it's, financially, psychologically, or otherwise, take the chance to it.
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you. And just a little follow-up with that is, do you think that people will find greater value the more money they invest in these masterminds and groups and tribes? Or do you think that you can find just as much value in the free Facebook groups, or the email that you're part of, or whatever?
Yeah. Um, it really depends on you and your goals wherever you are. When I launched my business, digital marketing, copywriting, whatever, it was Facebook groups, because that's how I needed to start off with. I did not join a paid community to get clients. I had to hustle. And I think we all start somewhere. And so I did the free Facebook groups at a time when it was possible to get clients from Facebook groups. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. It was very popular 3 to 4 years ago.
Right.
And, and it really depends on you and your goals. And I think in anything, it's whatever you put in is what you get out. Like, a high-end mastermind may not be for you. What you may need is maybe you're more of a DIY person. You just need a course and that's all it takes. And you need to listen to a podcast and that's all it takes to get you motivated and out of bed and work on your business. So you don't have to invest a 5-figure in a 5-figure mastermind if that's not your deal. And if it's going to break you financially, it's going to put you on credit card debt. I personally don't want to take on clients with credit card debt. I wouldn't, and not that I've launched a lot of programs, but I wouldn't want anybody who's in credit card debt to buy my programs or anything of this sort, or to work with me. And that kind of thing is what I hate, when people say, hey, you know what? And this was a thing. You can just, put yourself in credit card debt and join. That's terrible. Don't do that to people. So it really is, it's your comfort factor. Like you have to take a bet on yourself.
Right.
If I'm investing 10K in this today, am I going to make 10 times back? If there's a little bit of doubt and hesitancy, maybe you're not ready. Or sometimes maybe that's all you need to really light a fire under your butt and say, I'm going to do this no matter what. So you have to find your comfort. End of the day, it's what you put in to get something out. But anyone telling me that you need to invest in a 5-figure mastermind is the only path to success is baloney. It's not true. So, yeah.
Right. So you recently launched a program. Yeah?
Yeah.
And yes, you did. I know we talked about it a long time ago, and you finally did it. And success is there, and that's incredible. So talk to us a little bit before we head out for this episode. Talk to me about the Copy Crew.
Okay, so the Copy Crew is my rebrand. It used to be my first and last name, AmishaShrimanker.com, where I was be all and end all for everyone. I rebranded to the Copy Crew I want to say 6 months ago. Gosh, I lose time in this pandemic. So it's rebranded as the Copy Crew. That's my boutique copywriting agency where I help online entrepreneurs who want to launch digital courses, programs, memberships, whatnot. And I launched a tiny offer this year. Which is great. It's called the ROI sales page. There's a link on my website. It's called the ROI sales page, and it's a $37
And we're gonna link it here. Don't worry, I'll link it here. A YouTube podcast and on the blog post. So it's all gonna be linked so everybody can get it. So I'm sorry. Keep talking.
Yeah. So it's really, if you're in the digital space, this is not applicable to you. If you're a SaaS owner or e-commerce, this is not for you. So if you're one of these, then, don't listen to what I'm saying. But this is a digital course. It takes you by the hand on how to write a sales page for a digital program that you're offering. And it's unique because I give you frameworks. I'm a firm believer in using a framework to write your copy. I don't like I don't like when people say, hey, I've got 100 swipe files that I'm selling. Take this and write your sales page. Lately, that's got a lot of people involved because, there has been a lot of calling out like, hey, you swiped this entire section of my sales page and put it in calling it yours. I'm not for that. So it's really a framework on how I approach sales copy. Using that framework, you can write your own sales copy in your own voice. Right. And I even have a little section on how to write, weave in your personality in your copywriting. Copy does not need to be boring. You can bring in a little bit of your personality and make it interesting and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
I'm super excited that you did that and you launched it and it's available for everybody. I think that's fantastic because I think you're growing your tribe, even though you're like, I don't have a mastermind. Oh, you're going to have them. And you'll have group coaching. You will. It's out there. I mean, it's it's just phenomenal. And so I will have all those links available for everybody to go to. And no, I'm not an affiliate. No, I'm not making any money off of this. It's just something that I absolutely adore you, Amisha. And so, I told you that from way on, that I want to promote the heck out of you. And I think I truly believe in karma. Karma is my best friend. She generally works for me on the good side. And sometimes she stands with me when people are being naughty, and she goes after them. So I truly believe in karma. So I think that if you put yourself out there and you do nice things for other people, I think they come back to you tenfold in one way or another. So I absolutely am going to promote that. But the other thing, what I do want to say, Amisha, before we leave, is that if anybody is looking to hire you, or just kind of get a talk with you, do you want people to reach out to you and connect with you and have a consultation with you? Or is there a process? Because I'm sure there's people here listening like, okay, I'm an author, will this work for me? Oh, I'm in the wellness field, will this work for me? And so how can people reach out and work with you?
Sure. Well, easiest way to do that is to go to my website, and there's a contact form. You can write me right there, or you can just send me an email. It's amisha@thecopycrew.com, and I will, that's the easiest way. Email is easy. I also am on Instagram. I'm not super active, but I'm there. My handle is the Copy Crew. I also recently launched a group coaching program for entrepreneurs who are not copywriters, but they need to write copy for their one big thing. So whether that's a sales page, or it's a website, or it's a services page, and we take a look at that one big thing and we work on it together for 6 weeks, and it's a done with you kind of a thing. I guide you on how to write it, and you write it, I review it. So if you're not willing to shell the big bucks for a professional copywriter, because it can be expensive, that is another way to work with me. And if that is of interest to you, you can send me an email. Or if you need a VIP session, I also do VIP days where, we take a look at your entire business. If you're in the online digital space, not e-commerce and not SaaS, we look at your business, and then we strategize offers, funnels, and what your value ladder should look like, and what you can do to start making money today. So that's more than one ways to work with me. But digital course, group coaching, VIP days, and obviously I have copywriting packages, which I'm not going to talk about here. That's all on my website. So
that's amazing. Yeah, I think I mean, I would highly encourage anyone, if they're not watching and they're just listening, that you are so giving of yourself, and you're so giving of your talents and your resources and what you know and what you can do, that my biggest hope is that people will reach out to you to either hire you or to go and take the intro course that you have on the Copy Crew. Because let me tell you, I think that copywriting is incredible and can have amazing results for you in your business, whatever business that may be that you have. And so I hope that everybody will go there and check it out and help make it even more successful. And if they get the opportunity to work with you one-on-one, I think that is fantastic as well. And so so I just, Amisha, I want to say thank you so much for being on. And I know we're laid back, and I don't know if you noticed back here there was a cat playing.
I did.
I was like, I'm ignoring the cat. I don't even know what he found. He found something, and he was gonna have his little play date. So
I see him. He just walked past.
Yeah, it's the joys of working from home. It is what it is. I don't care.
I know it's your rules, right? End of the day, it's your rules.
It is. I'm very thankful that my kids are back in school, and so that they're not, screaming about their issues from downstairs, or think the best one was, my son screaming about his bathroom issues. And so that was a great interview. Great. Tell me all about it. It is what it is. Or, you're talking to a client on the phone and they're screaming in the background. And you're like, oh my God.
I know. Like my toddler would show up for every Zoom call that I had with my, with the prospect on the phone. And it was kind of like nice because it would kind of like, melt the ice or, like, hey, oh, she's so cute. And, kind of get us in a good mood. But sometimes it became annoying. I'm like, okay, go. Like, can't you tell from my hands gestures that I don't want you here?
And I think, Amisha, having our own business and working from home, I think in the pandemic, we're not the only ones in this situation. Now, had the pandemic not happened, prior to this, it's looked almost down upon that you have kids running around or you have dogs or cats or whatever. And all this nonsense, people were like, I'm not hiring you. You're so unprofessional. But now that everybody's in this situation, people understand and they get it. And they're like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. They have more empathy, right? Like,
a lot more empathy.
This is what it is like.
But we've been living it for years.
Especially, I was just going to say that. I'm like, this is our everyday normal, minus the kids and the pets and everybody. Because, right, they have like a place to go to. They go to school and then you have the house to yourselves. But this is our everyday reality. It's like, I tell my husband, like, initially he was not used to this work-life thing, which became one thing. And then he's like, and he would like scowl around. I'm like, this is my everyday. You're invading in my space. This is my thing. This is my sanctuary. It's like you guys.
Exactly. People just don't get it. But now I think people are starting to understand. So,
yes. I've always have appreciation for the work we do.
Yes. A huge appreciation. All right, Amisha, I could literally spend hours talking to you. That's not very productive for either of us. I guess talking to you somehow through osmosis could increase our business bottom line, but unfortunately, all right, I'll compose myself now and get a little bit more professional. So I am going to stop the recording, and I just want to say before we leave that I will go ahead and I will put all the possible ways you can connect with you, Amisha. I will link your Instagram. I'll link your website. I'll link, how they can get a hold of the Copy Crew and your $37, product offer course, so people can learn how to do kind of what you're doing. And so with that, I just want to say thank you so much again, Amisha, and I wish you nothing but happiness and success.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was real fun. I felt like, I was talking to my best friend.
Oh, well, good.